Is this you? You're in the middle of a really challenging situation and you're majorly stressed out or feeling a lot of fear. You're at a crossroads in your life and you're feeling uncertain, unclear, don't know what to do, don't know what direction to take, and you're feeling lost and adrift, and that comes with stress and fear. Or you might be in the middle of a full-blown life crisis and it feels like you are melting down and that your life is melting down. If you are in any of those situations, I am here to remind you that everything is going to be okay. And if you feel like you've got no one and that no one understands and that you're trying to do this all on your own, I want you to know that you're not. I'm right here and I hear you and I see you and I know what it's like to go through those situations. And from my soul to yours, I can promise you that you will be okay. Everything will work out somehow, some way. And in this episode, I'm going to give you some really practical tips to help you navigate this challenging time. You're listening to Practical Spirituality with B, the podcast with spiritual advice for your everyday life, helping you align with your soul so you can live with purpose, fulfillment, and magic. I'm Bernadette Logue. You can call me B, and I'm excited to share this episode with you. Okay, my lovely, where are you at in your life? What is going on? This episode is about how to deal with life crises and also deal with really difficult crossroads in your life. So I want to start by saying that what is a crisis for one person may look very different to what a crisis is for another person. So it can feel like a crisis when you are caught up in your own inner pain and your life looks completely fine on the surface to everybody else. It can also feel like a life crisis when one area of your life isn't working or is having a major catastrophe. And also it can feel like a life crisis when literally everything is going quote unquote wrong. So it's nobody else gets to say what a difficult situation is. If it feels like a difficult crossroads to you, if it feels like a life crisis to you, we don't really care the degree of it. I'm just here to tell you that it's okay to feel the way that you do, and I'm going to give you some help to move through it. So these kinds of things might involve, like I said, inner struggles. They might involve outer struggles in one or more areas. It might be in your work, your finances, it might be in relationships or your health. Sometimes, however, we do have situations where it feels like many things are spiraling and having crises all at once. That's what we can call a storm. Okay, it's like a storm of events all whirling around you at once. That can be extremely overwhelming and it can almost feel paralyzing. So I've been through having inner crises when everything on the surface looks completely normal to everybody else. I've been through singular area of life crises or crossroads where one thing is really not working and everything else is fine. And I've also been through crises where literally every area of my life dissolved and had deep difficulties all at the same time. And it felt like I was going down a very slippery slope into a dark hole. And I'm here to tell you that no matter where you're at, I promise you this, you will be okay and everything will be okay. And life has this magical way of forcing us to the edge of what we think is possible, to break us down and break us open and move us forward. And it can look and feel very painful and look and feel very wrong. And in hindsight, you will see with such greater clarity and wisdom what this time has been about for you, okay? And that's not to try to paint a silver lining on a cloud and have you hang on to. It's just fact. anyone who's come out the other side of a really difficult situation or challenging area of life or a major crisis will tell you when time has passed how it shaped them into the person that they were born to be, how it helped them to help other people and it put them on the right path inside of themselves or in some area of their life. So I want you to remember that. I often call these situations the spiritual squeeze, because the events of our lives, particularly things we can't control, when we are going through a crisis, it is like we're getting squeezed. Our mindset, our ego, our feelings, our body, our life situation, it feels like you're getting pushed through the eye of a needle and that it's pushed you in a corner or up against a wall. And it's really interesting as human beings what we discover about ourselves when we are forced to because we have no other option. We are far more likely to look into ourselves and into our life areas and to go to places in our perspective and our willingness when we're forced with no other option but to do so. So this spiritual squeeze, my joke about it, having gone through it in the last year, the spiritual squeeze will bring you to your knees. And when you are down on your knees, I want you to remember you are not broken. Your life is not broken. Even if you tell me that every single thing in your life is falling apart, you are not broken and your life is not broken. You are divinity in a body and you are taking a ride called life that is your soul journey. And this is a chapter, a page in the book of your life journey. It is temporary, it will not last forever, and you will come out of this bigger, better, stronger and wiser, more abundant and expansive than you have ever been before. And I'm going to help you to navigate your way to it. So this is very practical, so go and grab a pen and paper and pause this if you need to, okay? Because you don't get results from listening, you get results from taking action with the guidance that's being given to you, okay? So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to write in your journal what is literally happening in your life, and I want you to focus on facts only. Okay, so in this step, we're not going to add our interpretation and our thoughts and our feelings about it. We're going to look as clinically as possible at the facts of the situation. For example, I have been diagnosed with XYZ health condition, or this relationship with X person is going through difficulty, or my job has ended, or my business is not doing well, or whatever it might be. Okay, so you write down the facts of the situation. Once you've done that, step number 2 is write down what is your mind telling you about the situation. What is the belief and thought pattern that's running inside of you that is happening as a result of whatever's going on in your life? Now that might sound like, this shouldn't be happening. I can't believe that this is occurring to me. This isn't fair. I'll never get out of this. Whatever beliefs and thoughts are running, I want you to write them down. The third step is, how are you feeling about it? I'm feeling what? Are you feeling afraid? Are you feeling abandoned? Are you feeling lonely? Are you feeling stressed out? Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling disappointed or devastated? Are you feeling traumatized? Name how you're feeling because it's very valid and it's important to honor how you feel. The fourth step is this. I want you to get a piece of paper in your journal, like a fresh page, and draw a line down the middle. On the left-hand side, I want you to title it, What Can I Control? On the right-hand side, title it, What I Can't Control. And then I want you to fill in both columns for everything to do with whatever this crossroads or crisis or challenging situation is about. What can you actually control and what can you not control? You have to get really clear about that because that's going to help you to learn what you need to surrender and accept and where to take action to support your beautiful self through this time, okay? The next step is this. It is vital before we do any navigating forward for you to just regroup your beautiful self for a moment. Because if you try to activate the next steps I'm going to give you from a place of deep fear and anxiety and feeling traumatized, it'll just be like trying to gun the engine in a car with a handbrake on. It's very difficult. Your mind, your body, your feeling system, your nervous system is all wired up in a particular way that when things start becoming really difficult around you, if it triggers stress or fear, you go into fight, flight, or freeze mode. And when you're in that mode, it's like you can't hear as well, you don't listen as well, you don't think straight, your mind becomes foggy, your heart rate raises, you feel uncomfortable inside your body, your energy's moving in different ways than when you're calm and relaxed. So we want to do something to support you into a state of inner balance. And that is where you will have greater clarity. You will see things in a clearer and more accurate context, in a bigger picture, when you are calm. When we're not calm, we tend to catastrophize things and not exaggerate, but overinflate things. We start to let issues bleed into every area of our life, and we start to look through a really foggy negative lens that makes it a lot more difficult to move forward. So essentially, this step is about self-care. So here are some tips for you around the self-care. The first thing is drop anything that is not mission critical, so that you are not trying to give yourself to everybody else when what you really need is to give yourself to yourself. And that's not always easy to do, and it might not be possible in some situations, but if you have things that can wait and that aren't mission critical, then put them off and give yourself at least a little breathing space to be with yourself, to take care of yourself. The next thing is think about what in the past has helped you to feel safe or to feel calm. And if the answer is going for walks, being in Mother Nature, listening to music, doing breathing exercises, doing meditation, using emotional freedom techniques, tapping, talking to a particular friend who really gets you and makes you feel seen and heard, whatever it is, remember, because in the past there have been things when you've thought to yourself, that feels really good to me. Oh, that makes me feel really good. And when we get into crossroads and crises and challenges, typically what we do is we spiral and we drop all the things that have been working for us and we go into emergency mode. And that's valid because we're dealing with a crisis. But at the same time, we have to learn about the things that are going to keep us balanced enough to just get our head above water so that we can move ourselves out of the situation, okay? The next step is this. We have to make peace with the things that you cannot control that life has forced upon you. If you've lost your job, if your house or housing is under threat, if you are experiencing challenges with a relationship, if you're having a health problem, whatever it is, it's unexpected, it's not something you've created for yourself, you don't understand why it's happening. We must accept what is happening, and that we can't control it means we have no option but to accept it. Because if we could control it, we would do something about it pronto and we would change it. And so with the things we can't control, we don't have to like it, we're not going to love it, and no one is asking you to embrace it or have a party about it. It's just, it's already happening. Resistance is futile, and so there has to come a place of reverence for yourself and for life, and to say, I don't understand everything about life. I don't understand why some things happen like this in my life, and it's okay. And I'm going to trust that somehow, some way, this situation is A, going to get better, and B, somehow, some way going to make me bigger, better, stronger, wiser, more abundant, more successful, more connected, more loving, more belonging, more whatever. And you don't have to trust in that right now, but you can lean on my trust in that, because I have deep faith and trust in that. So when you can't trust for yourself, that's okay. You can just listen to these words and maybe say, well, what if she might be right? And just lean on that for a little bit, okay? Sometimes we all need someone to lean on, right, when we're in these crises situations. And so when life forces something on you, if you try to fight life, life is going to win. Because life has a very strong unfolding flow. And if you've ever tried to swim against it, you'll know it doesn't go well, right? So we're not asked to just accept everything life throws at us and roll over, right? Roll over and take no responsibility or do nothing to help ourselves or not change the course and direction of our life. It's not about where we're going. It's about it's already happening. It's where you are right now. We must accept it. And because we come into acceptance, we free up all our capacity, our mental, emotional capacity, time, and energy to start moving with life and creating a different trajectory, because we're no longer spending energy on fighting against it. Okay? The next step is to look at what was on your list that you can control and to begin to take small steps that are taken from your heart. And that means instead of operating out of fear and sporadically, randomly trying to do things in a state of panic or stress, anxiety, is to drop in for a minute by closing your eyes, putting one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart, doing some deep, slow diaphragmatic breathing down into your belly, tapping on your heart a few times, and ask your heart, the center of your universe in there, that's where life force energy is flowing through your body, it's where the wisdom in your body is inside your heart, that's your soulful self, tapping on your heart and asking your heart, what is the next best step for me to take? Now that might be reach out to someone for help. That might be go and take care of your kids and trust everything's going to be okay. It might be get outside and go for a walk. It might be send an email to someone to get some information. It might be go and clean up that thing, go and sort out that communication with that person. It might be whatever, step up and take care of XYZ things you need to do. But we don't just dive in out of stress, fear, and panic to take action, because that will continue to spiral. The crisis only gets worse. We want to stop for a minute, drop in, get into the heart center and ask the heart the question, the soulful, authentic self, the intuitive wisdom, and then take action from there. And because you've already got a list of what you can control, you know some of the things that are in your ability to make an impact with now, even if they're only really small things, like taking better care of yourself, right? Even if they're only small. So I hope that this episode has been helpful for you. I want to leave you with a couple of things. Again, to remind you, you will be okay and everything will be okay. And when you come through times like this, I just want you to remember the old saying, diamonds are made under pressure. Sometimes life pushes us from so many directions and it forces us to, like sandpaper, rubbing off the rough edges of our ego, our mind, our limiting beliefs, our limited perspectives, the ways that we're getting in our way, the ways that we're keeping ourselves stuck, the ways that we're maybe not loving ourselves or accepting ourselves. It's amazing what comes out of going through challenges and life crises, where these are the kinds of deep things that can be exposed to us for us to see as this huge opportunity to come into a whole new world of who we really are as we move forward into a new season of our life beyond this challenge or beyond this crisis. If you need more help with this, I am here for you. Okay, you can reach out to me, support@bernadettelogue.com. There are a few ways that I can help you. You can come and join me in the Soul Odyssey program, where I provide coaching and support about your journey through life, doing personalized Q&A in our live group sessions and our forums, and giving you guidance about how to face life from the deepest, authentic, heart-centered soul space of who you really are. And you'll be able to see all of these things in your life from your soul perspective. It's very powerful and it's very practical. But there is another way I can help you. Every month I take a limited number of people for private one-on-one coaching. So coming up for the month of October, I have 3 spaces left still available for new clients at this time of this recording. If you would like to work with me one-on-one with weekly live private Zoom sessions, simply reach out to me. You can DM me on social media or email support@bernadettelogue.com and just write the word trust, 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 on DM on social media or email to support@bernadettelogue.com, type the word trust, and I will email you back or message you back with all the details about a 1-month coaching package with me for October. If you're going to join me for that, it would be my pleasure to support you and help you through it. I'm very grateful to have this opportunity to share with you, to support you wherever you are in the world, whatever you might be going through. You are far stronger than you realize. You are very capable. Your soul has totally got this and is not concerned, but in our personality and human self, the challenge is real. The struggle is real, the pain is real, and the situations are very real, okay? And so my job is to help you come to your heart center, help you to navigate forward as the powerful being you are, and help you walk it with absolute trust that this has some place in your journey for some reason, and on the other side of this, you will be better than you've ever been before. I send all my love to you, and I look forward to being in touch with you soon. Thanks for listening to Practical Spirituality with B. I'll talk to you next episode for more spiritual advice for your everyday life, helping you align with your soul so you can live with purpose, fulfillment, and magic.